All right, so like I said, we're excited to give you a tour of the fresh new look at assessments today. So let's go ahead and dive in. So our goal is that you're going to learn about and even have a chance to practice the exciting new features in the fresh new look at assessments. We're going to overview each of those new features, including what we call find and assign time options, saving to my problem sets, creating custom problem sets, and viewing my assignments. And then we're going to give folks a chance to try it out and sort of ask any questions or present any wonderings, and then we'll wrap up. This is a short session as far as assessments goes. We're only together for 30 minutes today, so we'll try to move through things efficiently while still giving folks a chance to understand the changes at assessments. So just for introductions, I know there are a lot of folks we already know or that we already know that are here, but just as a reminder, and for those of you who may not have seen us present before, I'm Brian Story, and I'm a teacher engagement manager at ASSISTments, and I'll be your facilitator today. Prior to this work, I was a public school teacher in Washington, D.C. And Norfolk, Virginia, and I'm a proud graduate of the American University and the College of William and Mary. And with that, I'll turn it over to Dawn.
Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to see some names I haven't seen in a while today. I'm Dawn Peterson. I'll be the chat moderator today. I'm a teacher engagement manager along with Brian and a teacher in my former life, and I used assistants for a long time. I'll be on the chat today, so as Brian's presenting, if you have any wonderings or need to see something again, please put them in the chat and we'll make sure all your questions get answered.
All righty. Thank you so much, Dawn. And with that, we're going to go ahead and dive in. And so what we want to start with is what we call find and assign. And I'll just give you a quick preview of this first. So teachers can now search for problems by a standard or keyword. And so I'm just going to go live. And you'll see here that you still have the ability to go through the folders of the content library and find the content that you want as normal. I will note that for our open education resources, if a lesson has multiple components that we have uploaded, those now appear as tabs within one window, so you can navigate between those problem sets without having to open new windows to find those problems. But just going back. So now in addition to browsing the content as normal, you can search by standard. And so you can also do keywords. So I can either type in inequalities, and see standards that deal with inequalities, or in this case, I'm just going to type a standard here. And let's say I want to assign problems on inequalities. So what this is going to do is it's actually going to show you all of the problems in our assessments content library that are tagged with that standard, 7th grade standard on inequalities, so that you can scroll through them. You can filter them by which curriculum they come from if you prefer. And then you'll also see at the top here any skill builders that align with that standard. However, you don't choose problems in the skill builder because those are assigned randomly to students from a large problem set. And so that's basically the newest feature with Find and Assign, that you now have the ability to search with that Common Core code or that key word or phrase from your curriculum to find the problems you need more quickly. And so that brings us to the next new feature is inside your assessments account, you now have My Problem Sets, and you can save problem sets that you've created into this folder, and you can always come back to them, customize them, and do with them what you wish. And so in My Problem Sets, you'll be able to edit or assign any problems that any problem sets you've created as needed. And so I'm just going to show you what this looks like live. And let's say I want to choose some of these problems that I chose through the search by standard on inequalities, right? So just for the sake of showing you what this looks like, I'm going to choose these first two problems. And I'm going to assign those to the class. Or sorry, no, I'm going to save them to my problem sets. And I'm going to call this our 506 demo. So I'm going to give that a title, and I'm going to click Create and Save to Problem Set. Now I can click View the Problem Set here and see those problems immediately, or I can go to My Problem Sets. and I can sort, you can do sort by name, ascending or descending order. But let's say I want to go to our 506 demo here, and then I can pull those problems up and do what I wish with them.
Just a note, Brian, for my problem sets in the future, we will be adding functionality where you'll have kind of a folder structure. So if you do want to organize these saved problem sets by unit or by grade level or whatnot, because right now you can see that Brian just has a big old list there, that will be coming in the future.
Yes, excellent. Thank you for that reminder, Dawn. Moving right along, you can create custom problem sets. And so essentially what that means is that teachers can combine problems from different problem sets into one assignment. Then they can save those custom problem sets in my problem sets and revisit them later, add more problems to them, assign them, whatever you want to do. So just giving you that additional flexibility. So as an example, I'm going to, let's say I have those problems that I saved to my problem sets on inequalities. Let's say I want to add some open up resources problems that align with that standard as well. And so I'm just going to go down and just, again, for the sake of demoing, I'm going to open up this practice problem set. And let's say I just want to add this this first problem here to that problem set I've already created. So I select that problem using the checkbox on the right. I click the down arrow next to assign to class, click save to my problem sets, and then I can search for that problem set that I had created already and save to problem set. And so now what this does is it combines those two problems I added from, it looks like Engage New York, from that search by standard, plus that problem from Open Up Resources on inequalities as well into one problem set. And so now that we've created a custom problem set, or let's say you've created a problem set and you're ready to assign, we have some additional assign time options that we want to share with you. So teachers can now set the problem order in which students complete problems in any of their assignments. We have three options for this, including linear, random, and student choice. Linear order means that students receive the problems one at a time in the order that they're listed in the problem set originally. Random order means that students get the problems from the problem set in a random order, so each student receives the problems in a different order. And then student choice means that students can see all of the problems at once, and they can choose which problems to go into and complete. But I just want to note there that once they go into a problem, they do have to complete that problem in order to be able to go back and choose the next problem they want to complete. And so just for the sake of this assignment here, or for the sake of this, I'm going to assign a problem set that we typically assign in our new user webinars. And I just want to choose a selection of problems here. So I'm going to uncheck select all. And I'm going to assign this to my class. So you'll still see those the same options you're used to, the assignment name, and you can edit that. You still choose your LMS. In this case, I'm going to choose Google Classroom. And then you can still choose your classes. And then you also have your release and due date and time here at the bottom. Again, the way that ASSISTments has always worked. However, now you have that problem order. And because I want to show this to you, I can click student choice, and I can assign that to the class. And it'll still tell me, just the way that ASSISTments always does, that the assignment has been successfully created, and we'll come back to that shortly.
Brian,
So,
before you go on to that, can I just raise a question? There was a great question. If you're a teacher who chooses random order, will questions that have multiple parts get mixed up, and students would maybe get part B before part A?
That's a great question. No, the parts to a question would still appear as a chunk. So when a student clicks a question with to start a question with multiple parts, they'll go to that first part, and once they finish that, they'll get part 2, part 3, etc. So no, the parts of problems are not mixed up with random order. So like I said, in student choice, students will see all of the problems, and here's a screenshot of sort of what that looks like. And they'll be able to choose the order they complete them in by clicking Start Problem above the problem they want to complete. And then, like I said, once a student has clicked Start Problem, they have to complete that problem before they come back to this screen and can choose the next problem. And so I'm just going to go over here to my student account, go to my classwork, and remind me, in Google Classroom, Dawn, it's the bottom one or the top one? It's most recent.
Top, sorry, I was on mute.
No worries. So I'm going to click that. Since I'm logged into many accounts, I have to make sure I'm logged in. All right, and you'll see here, not only do you see each problem, but you do see those parts as well. So there's no surprises for students in this, but those parts do still come together. You'll see there's only one Start Problem button above those two parts of the same problem, right? So let's say I want to start with this one. I'll go in here, and let's say I know the answer to this question. I'm still getting that feedback, and the experience still works the same. My Zoom thing got in the way. Let me wait for that to go away. And you'll notice now, once I finish that problem, the Start Problem button is blanked out, so I can no longer click that. I still get my symbol for that problem indicating how I did. And I'm back on this main screen where I can then select the next problem to initiate.
Yeah, and just to clarify something that came in, Brian, if you go back to that screen, if a student does click into a problem, so let's say they click into the first question, they can't decide, no, I don't want to actually do that one and leave. They do need to complete this problem and will not be able to return it to submit a different answer. So I guess if you are choosing student choice, you want to make sure to relay that to students that once you click in, you must answer in order to move on to another problem.
Absolutely. All right. So moving right along. Oh my.
So the answers though will be linear, right? The answers when we get our answers, they'll be
Yeah,
in the right.
Your report does not change. All right. And so now we're going to move on to viewing my assignments. So this is really interesting and just gives you, again, another flexible way to interact with ASSISTments that might be more convenient for you. But basically, anytime you assign problems from ASSISTments, you now have the ability to click My Assignments and view the full list of assignments and assignment data here, right here within ASSISTments, in addition to going to your LMS as normal and clicking that embedded link like you're used to, right? And then you can also filter and sort those assignments however you choose. So I'm just going to go live, go back to my teacher account here, and go to My Assignments. I'll just wait a second for that to load. All right. And so again, you can see here my entire assignments list. And I can filter these by class. So if I want to see the ones that I only assigned to this class, I can click that. And it's going to show me those assignments. I can filter them by status. So if it's an upcoming assignment, so it hasn't been released, if it's already been released, or if it's past due. And then I can also sort the assignments by due date or release date in ascending or descending order. And so the other cool feature about this My Assignments window is that you can click any assignment that you've assigned. It's going to show you the number of students who've completed it, the number of problems you assigned, if there was a release or due date, when they are, and if there was any standard tagged, what that is. And you should know that we are in the process of tagging all of our content with standards. So eventually you'll always see a standard there as well. And then you can also click elect to view the report. So I can click view report, and that's going to take me into the assignment report the same way that if I went to Google Classroom and went to that assignment, I would be able to see it there as well. So you can now go, again, as normal, go to that embedded link in your LMS, Google Classroom or Canvas, to get your assignment report. But you can also, within your ASSISTments account, click My Assignments, sort your assignments however you like, and whenever you click one, get that data overview, and also click and view your report right here from within ASSISTments. All right, so we thought we just went over a lot of stuff. We thought it might be super useful just to give y'all a chance to sort of try this out, check out the new features, ask any questions. You can log into the Fresh New Look at ASSISTments with the same ASSISTments login you use already, as long as you've been using, going to assistments.org and clicking login. And so all you have to do, and Dawn's going to put the link in the chat, is go to beta.assistments.org and click login using your LMS credential. And then as you go, feel free to share any questions or wonderings you have in the Zoom chat. And we're going to come back together in, what do we say, Dawn, about 3 minutes, 3 or 4 minutes? All right, cool. So we'll come back together in about 3 or 4 minutes and see if you all have any questions, comments, etc. But feel free to share those in the chat as you go. Okay, about 1.5 minutes left, and we'll come back together and see if folks have any questions. Okay, so as we sort of wrap up, and feel free to continue exploring for a few minutes here as we get started with some questions. Dawn, do we have any sort of questions coming in?
Oh yeah, I'm answering a lot of questions and sharing some resources. So one thing, Brian, I wonder if you can just speak to is toggling back and forth between ASSISTments currently and the Fresh New Look, and just what's there in both.
Sure. So obviously there's a lot more functionality in the Fresh New Look, but you can always, and here's the basic structure of what this looks like. You can always go to assistments.org as normal. You can always click login as normal, and you're still going to be logged into ASSISTments, but now you'll see this button in the top right that says try our new look. And so you can either click that or just go straight to beta.assistments.org and log in. But you're still able to use ASSISTments as it exists now as well. Or you can click try our new look. This is just a section that highlights our user resources, which we'll address in just a minute. Oh, now it's supposed to click try now. And that's going to take you to the Fresh New Look. So you can still access the current version as well as our fresh new look. Any other questions,
Yeah,
Dawn?
one question, and I think we may have referenced this already, but is there a way to group assignments by grade level? I think this person is referring to either my assignments or my problem sets.
Yeah, if you're talking about in my assignments, I'm not sure what the plans are for revising the sorting and foldering options here, but I believe that we are going to add the option for teachers to create folders and sort assignments as they choose, potentially. But I know that we're doing that in my problem sets, where when you create problem sets, you'll be able to create any folder structure that you like to group your problems, the problem sets you've created. Any other questions, Dawn?
I think there's one, I think it has to do with co-teachers. So can you speak to if there's any differences between assigning co-teachers in the fresh new look versus with the current assistants?
Nope. Essentially, you still want to have that co-teacher listed as a teacher in your LMS, so Google or Canvas. Once that's done, they can go to ASSISTments.org and sign up and create their account using their LMS credential, and they'll still be able to access the fresh new look from there, just like I showed you. So they can still have access the same way they did before.
Yeah. Another thing, sorry, I'm trying to answer questions and bring questions to to you at the same time. There was some talk while you were presenting about test mode. So can you just kind of talk about test mode, that it's coming up, and what test mode means?
Sure. So go to your assign time options here. Test mode means that when you assign a problem set in test mode, the students get one chance to answer the problem, and they move on, and they have to be moved on to the next problem, and they get no feedback or help as they go. So test mode is basically your summative experience. So if you want to, say, deliver a test and you don't want students to get multiple attempts and feedback, you can use test mode. That feature has not yet been released, but when it is, you will have that option here at the assign time options if you'd like to choose test mode, or if you'd like to stick with our regular mode, which is called, I think we're still calling it tutor mode or formative mode. So yeah, a little bit about that. Any other questions, Dawn?
Yeah, and just to clarify that, because some of the talk was around the show answer button, and in test mode, show answer is not available, but also students don't get that immediate feedback. So we've learned that, you know, just sharing with students the purpose of show answer is really the way to go if you want them to get that immediate feedback. Mm-hmm. All right, there's a couple questions about reports and if reports are going to be changing at all.
Really exciting question. So in the next few weeks, we hope to release our new report look, which is going to feature our data in a much better and more easy to understand way. I saw someone mention student summary data. So you'll still have access to data in many ways that you already did in the assignment report, but it's going to be easier to understand, and there will be different summary elements about the data overall that you can look at that will be helpful. And we're only going to continue expanding those report and data options moving forward. But in the next few weeks, we will be releasing a redo of our assignment report data. Any other questions, Dawn? And I'll say this should be probably the last one.
Yeah. Some people are asking more content-specific questions, and with the fresh new look, that doesn't have anything to do with the content. We do build and release new content on a rolling basis, and if you do have questions about if content is going to be added or anything like that, I encourage you to email contact@assistments.org. I'm going to put that right here in the chat. That way we can answer that question specifically and it doesn't get lost. Excellent.
Yes, all the content you can access in the fresh new look is the same as what you already have access to, and that's not going to change. So we have created some user resources for the fresh new look as well. And so I just want to highlight these and show you where they are. And so if I go to ASSISTments.org and I go to the Help Center here and click User Resources, you'll now see that there's an icon that's called Features in Beta. And when you click into this, we have all of the user resources that outline not only the different features that are available, that I just went over. A few other features that are coming that if you'd like to take a look and maybe help with our beta testing on that, you can check those out. And then we even have getting started tutorials for the fresh new look, both for Google Classroom and Canvas, just in case you want to reference that as well. So again, go to the Help Center at assistments.org, go to User Resources and Features in Beta. And I'm going to pop the link to this in the chat. So y'all have the link directly to this page. And this is going to go even more in depth about all of the components of the new features, et cetera, than what we did in today's presentation. We also offer a variety of PD services. We know that assessments is most useful when teachers understand use cases and recommendations around how to use and share data consistently, what routines should look like, and now obviously how to use and navigate and make the most of the fresh new look. And so we do offer 1 to 3 hours of new user training to help teachers get ready, and up to 10 hours a month of flexible support for schools and districts so that teachers can make the most of our platform with their students and families as quickly as possible. We do find that 71% of folks who attend our professional learning are more excited about assessments after attending. We find that 94% are more confident about finding and assigning the content they need, and that 90% of those who attend are more confident about using data reports to inform instruction. So we're definitely here to support if folks are interested. And so now before we close out, and this is our very first tour of the fresh new look, so any feedback you're willing to offer us, we very much appreciate. Dawn is going to share the link to our feedback survey for today's session, and it probably only take you about 30 seconds to complete. And we would just really appreciate anybody taking that 30 seconds and sharing any feedback that you have about our tour of the fresh new look today. Note that the webinar date is May 6th, and the title is The Tour of the Fresh New Look at Assessments for Experienced Users. And we'll give folks about a minute or so to complete the survey before we close out. Alrighty, so as folks wrap up the survey, and again, we appreciate any feedback you can give us. Your feedback will be the first set that we get on how we can make this presentation even better. So we value it a whole lot. And with that, as Dawn said, and she shared this in the chat, maybe pop the email in the chat again, Dawn. You can always reach out to us at contact@assistments.org if you have any questions about assessments in general, the fresh new look, as Dawn mentioned, the content that we provide, or if you have a request for content, and we'll be happy to discuss with you further. And I just want to thank you all for joining us today. I hope this was as exciting for you as it's been for us to sort of see all these things develop and create all the resources to support you as you use the features. We're definitely excited to continue rolling this out. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and close out the session for today, and I hope everybody has a wonderful afternoon and evening. And again, feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions. Thank you. And Dawn, I think you have to close it.